internet trauma. People do not understand that it is a real thing. It is an actual thing. I'll explain it to you. Okay. Internet trauma refers to the psychological distress and negative mental health impacts that can result from experiencing traumatic events or situations online. This can include direct exposure to violent content, online harassment, or vicarious trauma from witnessing distressing events experienced by others online. The constant, accessible nature of the internet can amplify the effects of trauma, leading to symptoms similar to post-traumatic stress disorder. So people are telling you, internet trauma has symptoms that are very much like PTSD, which we all know is a very serious thing. This is not a game, man. Like, there are days where I literally have to just log off for a minute and just kind of, just kick back because it's so much. And I'll give you another example. I want to stay in keeping with the type of discussion that we were just having, because this whole, embrace of thought culture, the rise of that is informing a lot of this. We're going to talk about that a little bit, then we're going to switch gears. But I also want to talk about these, this girl right here, Amaya Cunningham. She was ran over and killed by her own friend while twerking in front of a car in Atlanta. Okay? This happened to somebody, man. And someone asked me a few weeks ago, did you hear about the girl who got ran over, because she was twerking? And the response was crazy, because I asked her which one.
Which one?
Not to be upstaged, of course, by, Nyla Simmons, 18-year-old dancing on top of an SUV, who died because she fell off of the SUV and got hit by a fire truck. These things happened. And it's part of this embrace of thought culture. What does Glorilla say in her song? Twerking on them headlights. Right? And now you got 2 young black women who just died from twerking on them headlights. Nigga shit. You understand? And people wonder why I get so fired up and I get so enraged when I start talking about the embrace of thought culture, when I start talking about the embrace of nigga culture, because it literally kills people. Literally. I just showed you. You don't need to be in the street twerking on no headlights the same way Glorilla did in her video for any reason. It's low class. It's low energy. It's not attractive, but you have young women just doing it every time you turn around. They're tooting their ass up at somebody's camera trying to be seen. You understand? And this is the problem. This is the issue. I mean, it's one issue of many. There are more we're going to talk about, but it's more internet nonsense. My mom is on the internet. Your moms are on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure on any given day, based on how the algorithm sends stuff to you, you scrolling, you're going to see these horrible stories. You're gonna hear that song by Glorilla or Sexy Red or whoever else is out here promoting that agenda to our young women. And they're so infected by white feminism that when you say something to them about it, oh, well, she just having fun. She just being free. Leave her alone. Don't judge her. Nigga, look at the harm what she's doing is causing. And I parked the Chevy. What y'all saying, man? Talk to me, because this is going on, bro. Talk to me.
Yeah, that gosh, I really don't have much to say on that, because it's stupidity. There's different levels of legacy. I think we don't talk about that. That's the hidden elephant in the room. Right. There's different levels of legacy. You can be known throughout domestically and globally from your accomplishments. Like, we know about the achievements of George Washington. George Washington Carver. Is that his name? Carver. We know about the achievements of John Horse. We know about the achievements of Harriet Tubman. Those are legacy achievements, right? And then you have people that are out here on another legacy that is the hood legacy. Like they're only known in the hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you would always say, yeah, man, he's a legend in the hood, but he's not a legend out here doing no other shit. He's a legend in the hood for fixing up cars, or he's a legend in the hood for banging the most chicks. That's where his legacy lies. It's not nothing that is that potentially can prosper and grow other people to inspire them to do great things. So when you have a lot of low-level energy people, their whole excitement and notoriety comes from the hood. So doing stuff like popping ass on a car is going to be a living story throughout that hood. It's not going to be something you're going to be acknowledged from state to state as something that's good that you did, like open up a school or a daycare or anything like that, or even a mental health facility in your neighborhood, you know. So when you have people with that low energy that's out here thinking like that, they do stupid shit like that because they live in that limited space, that limited moment, and that limited legacy. I just don't have time for, you know, stuff like that. And another thing that I like, that people say a lot that I really don't like, is the fact that they talk about this algorithm. You know, a lot of, there is some form of algorithm in it, but let's be honest. Every woman I know, for the majority, whether they got a college degree or they're a hood rat, everybody's showing their ass and puss in front of the guy. So it really is there is no algorithm in that. That is a culture of the women out here trying to promote and get followers. And it becomes to seem like an algorithm. Even if you're a man and you got your girl, and the minute you open up your Instagram, it's some ass and cooch, and your girl happen to look over there and be like, hey, what you over here following? No, that's what it is. It doesn't matter who it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I'm married, bruh. Yeah. That I be trying to, bruh. I didn't do nothing. Shit.
I land my plane on that, man.
Facts. Bobby Drake.
Man,
talk to me, man.
Look, you got him dancing out here. I saw a video earlier today of some woman in Miami. Yeah. They had I think the Brickell Bridge going up, and somehow she end up out there or whatever. She's at the top. She's at the middle of the bridge. The bridge is tipping up. You see her hanging off for dear life, and she drops that whole distance down. And according to the bridge tender, apparently she was masturbating up there or whatever.
What?
You got this nonsense.
Wow.
And then I saw a clip earlier today from that Karamo show. I don't know what the context, what the backstory to it is, but apparently this dude is on there. And he's confronting some guys because apparently they was running a Thomas the Tank Engine on his mom, and I think it had been recorded or something, and it got leaked. And so I guess they're trying to have a heart-to-heart with him. He was traumatized behind it, whatever. They're trying to, I guess, smooth it. I don't know what the case may be is, but again, these actions, this I don't even know if it's reckless. This mental illness or this bend towards dysfunction. And then the promotion of it, or rather the projection of it, putting it out there to be seen. We have to at some point we have to be honest and see this is the real issue. When people lose their backbone and their spinal cord and decide to be jelly bat.
I talk about them all the time.
Because I'm not going to pretend and act ignorant like this like we never had things like this happen before. We have had things like people dancing on vehicles and stuff like this or whatever, doing risky things, and then they catching backlash for it or harming themselves or blows in the face. We have had this in the past. The problem is people used to actually get shamed for it.
That too, yeah.
The general consensus for as bad as society may have been, all the ills that may have been present at that time,
you
did something stupid like this, it was virtually a unanimous consensus that, yeah, that's what your dumbass get. There was no sympathy for it. There was no compassion for it.
Right.
And if there was any, it was in the form of a call to 911 saying, hey, we need a Baker Act out here. There's someone that needs a 72-hour hold. They're clearly not within the right state of mind. And they get themselves strapped to a gurney and put in a rubber padded room, or they get tied down in the ICU somewhere if there was no rubber room, according to that. And after the psychiatric evaluation, once they determine that they're not a danger to themselves or others, then they get sent their merry way. And hopefully they learn the lesson from that. And, that would be a case where it's like, okay, ain't gonna do that again. The problem is we are now in an era in a society where people are not only rewarded for the nonsense, they get an instant dopamine hit. They get likes, they get views, they get comments.
Yeah.
They can monetize their actions or whatever. They can get brought up as guests on people's shows or podcasts or whatever. There's a case in point right there.
No talent.
There's not only an instant pleasure reward for it, an instant dopamine hit, dopamine rush, but there's also a mid to even in some cases a long-term benefit to it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And in addition to that, as if that wasn't bad enough, you have a whole ready phalanx of idiots and dummies ready to go and have their back and say, but there's nothing wrong with that. They just being free. Why can't we let people do that? They is not hurting anybody. What's that problem? So literally, you find yourself being circled by M1 Abrams tanks, loaded for bear, and you got your hands and your feet tied behind your back. You can't probably fight back against it. How do you overcome this? So it's monetized. They're getting pleasure. They're getting attention. You're basically giving them a whole dopamine, a whole drug rush right there. They may as well be doing heroin for all intents and benefits. We need people to start standing up. And when they see this nonsense, say, hey, this ain't right. This ain't the wave. And it doesn't matter how many people say you're wrong or you need to mind your own business or all the other shaming language. No. Principle is principle. It looks like a frog. I'm going to call it a frog. I don't care what you tell me. It's a platypus. It's a frog.
Facts.
I looked at Wikipedia. I looked at AI. I asked Siri, meets all the criteria for a frog. Hot damn it, it's a frog.
Conversations 2020.